What is up, everyone? It's your boy Infrar-Ed. Welcome to the Scout Report. Today I bring you an anime review of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 4, Diamond is Unbreakable, Episode 6. Another solid episode overall. However, this was one of those episodes that plagued Stardust a lot, which was Part 3. Whereas not too much important went on, and not to say that it was a bad episode, but it was definitely one of those episodes that you would have been okay without it, because really the only thing that we got was the stand reveal of Koichi, and if you stayed to see the actual name of the title from last episode, we already knew that. Again, it was a good episode, but this was one of the more episodic episodes, and again, they're just adapting the manga. And the manga, this whole thing was resolved pretty quickly, so it was wrapped up pretty quick in this episode as well. But without further ado, that's not to say this show still isn't beastly, and it wasn't a fun episode, so let's get down to the breakdown. So we start off with Koichi driving to school, or actually riding to school on his new bike. You know, he's happy. His parents got him a bike because he just got into high school, and while he's driving and he's happy, he actually runs over a bump in the road, and he falls, and then his bike just crashes, and he's looking like, wow, my day is crap already. And he notices that from his bag, he can see something looks like a claw or something coming out, and he sees blood from it. So not only did he fall and bust his ass on the bike, he's looking like, oh my god, I just ran over some type of creature. So while he's on the ground, he's worried about that. He see a man sitting on the bench. The man introduced himself, and he kind of forces himself over, or forces Koichi to come sit by him, and his name is Kobayashi. So he says, yeah, it's not your fault you ran over that bag or what's in the bag. It was the fault of the person who put the bag in the street. My name is Kobayashi. Looks like you go to the same school that I went to 2 years ago. I'm a graduate. How you doing? So this guy's introducing himself. He's talking to Koichi. He's kind of letting him not get away, as he says, I told you it's not the responsibility of you, but the person who put the bag into the road. Well, I put the bag into the road. You ran over my kitten. So wow, I mean, I don't know what it is with Araki and like pet death, but it seems like he just really loves killing animals for some reason. And from what I heard, he's a nice guy. He does it to make you hate the antagonist more. But again, we got another dead pet in this episode, and Kobayashi's basically saying, this is my pet, so you feel bad about that, right? You killed my cat. So why don't you give me 50 grand and I'll let you go. Why don't you give me $500? I forgot the exact amount, and I'll let you go. So of course, Koichi's like, what? I don't have that much money. So Kobayashi's basically like, well, just give me what you have in your pocket. And he's starting to step away, you know, he's like, well, you know, I don't have any money. I'm just a school kid. However, when he says that, we can see like a lockbox coming out of Koichi's chest. And it has like aura over it, so that already indicates that it's a stand. Now, is this the stand that controls Red Hot Chili Pepper? Not exactly, but we do get a new stand user in the guise of Kobayashi. And while this is going on, we actually see Josuke and Okiyashu. They see Koichi is like, hey, isn't he down there? He looks like he's in trouble. Then it's like, well, he looks like he meets strange people all the time, so he's probably okay. But back to his stand and his ability, we have like a lockbox coming out of Koichi's chest, and Kobayashi says that the more guilty you feel, the heavier it's gonna get. You lied to me about not having any money, so now it's getting bigger and it's starting to weigh you down. So we have a stand by the name of the lock this episode, and that is actually the name of it, so it's not any naming conventions or confusion that you had to use this time. Even though it is based off a song, it's just called the lock, and we get a new stand user that we have to face down this week. So Koichi is now with this lock coming out of his chest and it's getting weighed down. Kobayashi explains that he got this ability from Okiyasu's older brother who shot him with an arrow, so that's how his stand manifested. And he basically runs Koichi's money. He's like, all I got is 70 bucks, and those are for my shoes for school. So he's like, run that sneaker money, kid, give it here. Thankfully, Josuke and Okiyashu show up. They pretty much say, hey, what are you doing to our friend? What's going on down here? And Kobayashi's like, you kids, get away from me. Get out of here. Matter of fact, why don't you give me your money as well? But come on, you can't swag out Josuke like that. Or Okuyasu. They're like, what, old man? Get out of here. Leave our friend alone. They notice that something's going on with Koichi's stand as well, but they can't figure out what it is. But we find out again that the stand is based on guilt. So the more guilt that you have, the heavier that the lock becomes and starts to weigh your body down. Kobayashi tries to extort money out of Okuyasu and Josuke as well, and they don't play it at all. In fact, Nijimura just decks this guy in the face. However, when he punches him, he falls back and stumbles. He does a little basketball flop. He stumbles and hits his head, and his tooth comes out. So now Okuyasu is feeling bad because he's looking like, I didn't mean to hit you that hard. But Josuke being Josuke, always on his P's and Q's, always thinking, he goes over to the bag that we saw in the beginning of the episode and find out that it was actually not a real cat. It was a stuffed animal, and it was filled with blood or something to give up the guys that it was a dead pet. And the tooth that he knocked out, he just used his ability to put the tooth back in and healed him. So now Okuyasu feels okay about it, and that lifted his guilt going away from the lock. And also we found out this guy's a con artist, so that lifts the guilt for Koichi as well, as now they found out what this guy's about. However, he did take the money, or he did give the money back to Koichi, whatever, but he only gave back the tips of the money. He didn't give back the whole dollar amount, and he leaves and gets away. So we're in a hot pursuit of this guy, or so for Koichi's in hot pursuit of him, as he goes back home to find this guy in his house. So Koichi's at home, and this crusty ass is rubbing his mom's shoulders, giving her a massage, as he's there on the guise of saying that he was returning some money that their son lost, and he was just returning it back to him. However, he says that he switched wallets, and the wallet that Koichi had was actually his, with the 500 grand that he was trying to extort out of him earlier. And with that being said, the mom starts to question him, saying, you know, what are you doing stealing a man's wallet? And he's like, yeah, don't you feel bad about that? As we now start to see the guilt come out of his mom, because she feels bad that this man's went through this type of plight. However, Koichi's trying to say, Mom, I didn't do this. This guy's a creep. Don't believe him at all. So the mom goes into the other room, and the two are alone. And Koichi actually gets pissed at this point, goes into Super Saiyan mode, like, you know, basically get the hell out of my house, you lying to my mom, get out of here. And his stand comes up, and it actually hatches from the egg this time, as it looks like it's like a lizard type of creature. And although they didn't reveal the name in this episode, it is actually called Echoes. So with his stand finally been revealed, he's trying to basically get this guy to leave his house, because at this point Kobayashi has his mother feeling a lot of guilt, as well as Koichi's sister feeling guilt as well. Because how he got the sister is that she spilled some tea on him, and he acted like it burned him so bad that he just couldn't take it anymore. So he says she feels really bad about that. And it just put up how much of a creep he is as well. Like, so your sister's 2 years older than you, so that's right in my range. I mean, it just made this guy a real creep. And this pisses off Koichi even more, as his stand takes a swing and punches him twice in the face, but it had no effect, as he laughed, and Koichi looks in shock like, what the hell is going on? However, what happened is when his stand punched Kobayashi in the face, it left some kanji on his face that said boom, and another one on the other side that said like crack. And it was like real Batman-ish. You remember the old school Batman with Adam West, like when they punch it go bam, zip, boom? It's like that's what kind of showed up. And it is here that we find out what Koichi's stand is able to do. You see, whatever word or expression he leaves in that kanji on the person, he's able to reverb that sound through his body. So now he was able to reverb the boom sound in his ear constantly. So his ear just hearing boom, 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 boom. And then he hits him again on the back and puts crack. And he puts about 3 or 4 different sounds on that's all reverbing through his mind and his body, which is causing Kobayashi tons of pain right now. However, being the creep that he is, he still has something up his sleeve, as we also learned earlier in the episode that any pain that he inflicts on himself also goes to the person that has the lock on him. So Kobayashi actually gets a knife and actually tells himself, a la Scream, that if you stab yourself just right and not deep enough, you can do a fatal wound but don't kill yourself. So he stabs himself in the chest. This of course sends more pain to his mother, who is now feeling more grief as she comes in and sees this man stabbed up, and she's in pain as well. And he explains that the more grief that someone's in, it will get so bad that they want to kill himself, as the lock just keeps getting heavier and heavier on the mother, to the point where she's about to actually slit her own throat with the knife because she feels so guilty about what's going on. However, Koichi in desperation yells, "Believe in in me, as a kanji comes out and goes across his mother, and now believing me in his voice is resonating through her mind, as that brings her back to her senses by her saying, you know, my son is pure. He's a good kid. He wouldn't steal from somebody. He wouldn't do this type of thing for somebody. And that belief in her son and knowing that he is a good kid causes the weight to lift from the mother, and the stand goes away. And Kobayashi's scared shitless at this point, because he says he's gonna keep putting the sounds on him to the point that he doesn't even know what it's gonna do to his body. So out of fear, he takes the lock off the sister as well. He's pleading for his life at this point, like, please don't do anything to me, make the noise stop, I'll do anything you say. So Koichi's like, anything? Well, how about you give me 500,000 and I'll be there to collect it tomorrow. As a matter of fact, you're gonna be my goon from now on. And he gives him a sinister look, and Kobayashi he's like, okay, please just don't hurt me anymore. However, Koichi says he's joking. Well, we get to the school the next day, and we see Josuke and Nijimura again, who were absent this episode, and they notice that now Kobayashi's actually offering to carry Koichi's bags to school. He's basically waiting on them hand and foot right now as they're wondering what's going on. And they say, wow, this kid really is weird, but he has a way to make people do what they want. And that pretty much ends our episode. And again, overall, it was a pretty good episode. Again, the biggest thing that we got out of it was seeing Koichi stand. And that's going to be pretty interesting to see how he evolves that and how it's going to go from there. So yeah, that was the episode in a nutshell. Let me know what you guys thought of the episode as well. Again, I like the episode, but it's one of those episodes that they could have did without. But I also respect David Productions for not skipping any material and adapting the source right away instead of skipping it, because at the same time, this is the kind of thing that maybe if you skipped it out and just rushed through the development of Koichi and his stand, we would have been a little bit pissed about that too. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. Go ahead and let me know what you guys thought in the comments about the video. If you liked the video, go ahead and drop it a like. And if you want to hear more, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, as I bring you guys content almost every day right now. And of course, as I always say, you guys can be anywhere on YouTube right now, but you chose to listen to me, and I really appreciate that. So from me to you, thank you for joining the Scout Report. It's your boy Infrar-Ed signing out. See you soon.